Alright guys, this car's probably sat outside under that tree up by the house for long enough. On this episode of Pugliese Speed Shop, I'm going to finally stop being lazy and fix the kid's caddy. Look at this, guys. Last few episodes, bringing back all sorts of Pugliese Speed Shop classics, right? We had the Jeep. We got that all legit. Kids running around right now. We got the Le Mans that, well, she's getting there, but we're doing work, guys. That's what's important, you know? And we got this guy. The kid's 98 Eldorado ETC, Eldorado Touring Coupe. It's got like an extra 10 horsepower compared to like the regular Eldorado, so kind of a big deal, right? This car, if you've been watching the channel, it's been on here a lot. We've done a lot of work to this car, but we've also gotten a lot of reward. Guys, he took this thing to school over 4 years ago. We'll throw a little picture up right there of the young lad as he was heading off to his college years. Metallica t-shirt and a pocket full of dreams, right? And he's still got the same car. Guys, I know at his age, I never had the same car for 4 years. And this one actually was my brother's before his. I think Joey only drove it like one time. Actually, no. Test drive, then home. Then he went to get something to eat and it didn't work out. But Andrew's a hell of a guy. He let him drive it after we got it all fixed up. Andrew was a little worried, though. I'm not going to lie. But seriously, guys, this car's been great. As I said, he's had it for 4 years now. We fixed, I mean, it's a North Star motor, right? It's actually, the motor was replaced in 09. Like factory correct, the guy paid through the nose to have it done. We got all the receipts. The kid's got the window sticker for this thing still. Crazy. So it was a one-owner car. My brother bought it. And then Andrew picked it up from him and absolutely loves it. So I don't mind working on it. That's a lie. You can go back and watch some of the other videos. I did mind working on it. What we did a starter, which was under the intake. We did a water pump, which was on the other side of the motor with its own separate belt. And we ended up doing a whole cooling system because we troubleshot. It took a little while to troubleshoot to the water pump. Well, now, if you guys remember, when we went to pick him up from school, he got in the car, wouldn't start. A little caution came up, battery not charging. So that was a whole deal. You can go and watch that whole episode too of getting this thing down here. We'll put little things up there like the kid always does. I don't know what they're called. It's just the little things. So we're going to put an alternator in it now. And we got a couple other things we're going to mess with too. 18% oil life, huh, dude? I would kept asking, hey, did you change oil on that thing a while? It's been a while, hadn't it? It's been a while, hadn't it? No, it's good, Dad. 18%, I just drove it down here. It's on the dash. Come on, guy, you're better than that. And, well, there's a little brake line issue. We're not going to get into that right now, but I got a box with brake lines over there, and we're going to do that. There's a whole story behind that too. But I don't want to just keep rambling. I want to do what I'm here to do, which is not fix any of that stuff right now because, well, I can't. I don't got parts. Cadillac being Cadillac, there are two separate alternators for these cars, and it's not by VIN. At least not that I can find. I think this one has a 57 millimeter pulley, but it could have the 62. And nowhere can I find out which is which, so I'm going to get under the car. Yeah, it's on the bottom. And mic it out, measure it, whatever you want to call it. And we'll go from there. So let me jack this thing up and check it out. All right. So North Star stuff. Let me show you what you got to do to read this thing. It's pretty dope. You're gonna like it because I mean the alternator belongs on the bottom of the vehicle, right? I guess I can't complain too much. The Jeep's the same spot. At least Caddy did give you a little inspection cover. So let's see a little light on this subject here. There we go. See the alternator there? There it is. Covered in oil. Yeah. North Star's leak, guys. So that plastic piece there, and this little guy here. I'll show you how it goes. It's I'll get it. There we go. Kind of. There we go. This little cover goes in like this. There's 4 10mm bolts, and that plastic piece there goes like along the frame around here, or front carriage, or whatever you want to call it. And there's 3 10mm bolts. So once you're in there, this is good. So I'm laying on my back here. See the micrometer? Yeah. So I'm gonna try and figure this out here. This flashlight's great with all different modes, but there we go. Got it on the pulley there. All right. And then I had to kind of put a mirror over here to read it. And it's 62mm. So I would have lost that bet because I was thinking 57 the whole time. Oh well. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Why not just pull the thing out and then put it on the bench and measure it, right? And that's solid thinking. But I don't really want to do that right now. What the? Well, I had something in this eye. Pretty obvious. Okay. Anyways, I don't want to do that because I want to leave the car mobile. Obviously, I drove it right in here. I can take it off the jacks, drive it right out. I'll leave the inspection plates off just because, I mean, it ain't going nowhere. But I like to, I want to get the Le Mans back in here so I can start working on it right away. We'll continue. And I can't do that if this thing's sitting here with, taken apart. It's just not a good idea. So I figured I'd spend the extra aggravation, because that's what it was, measuring it, making sure we get the right part, and then carry on. And when the part comes in, we'll take care of that and a few other things on this car. So I'm going to head up to the house because it's already like 8 something at night. I'm hungry. Clearly I'm a dirty, sweaty mess. And yeah, order the alternator, oil filter, a couple of things, and forget we even own this thing until tomorrow when I got to deal with more shit. So it's been about a week or so, right? And got some parts here. We got the Caddy back in the shop. So you guys have been watching Le Mans for a couple weeks, and we hope you're digging it because a lot more to come on that guy. But before we can do that, we got to take care of these parts, right? So I'll show you what we got here. We got a brand spanking new alternator, right? She's we don't want to mess with cord charges when we're mailing stuff off. We don't have to, and it was like the same price, so why not, right? We got a brand spanking new, well, it's all new, guys. We ordered it, right? Coolant reservoir, minus the rad cap because, I don't know, you just can't get them. The reason we got that, because see this guy over here, pretty new. I just pointed nowhere near it, right there, yes. We changed that about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. The other one, well, we thought it was leaking, but it was just nasty inside. This one was $36, right? This one back then was $70. And I said, well, I'm going to get the cheap one because that's what we do. From the second we put this son of a bitch in, the sensor never worked. Every time you start the car, it says low coolant. And it's just annoying, right? So we spent the $36 on that, plus all the coolant to fill it up, right? This one that was 70 is now 110. So instead of spending $70 2 years ago, we're going to spend a whole like 146. So this guy right there, yep. Don't buy the cheap one, guys. Learn from my mistakes. I make a lot of them. All right. What else we got here? Well, since we're going to have the alternator out, let's put a new belt on it, guys. You're already there. And we already talked about this 18% oil life, dude. Yeah. Got a Wix filter. We still got to grab some coolant, and we got to get some oil. And then we'll be able to complete everything. But for now, we're just going to get after it. We're going to throw this thing on jacks and yank this alternator out. Like most things on this North Star, when you move a couple things out of the way, it's easy to see. So, let me see if we can zoom in a little bit here for you guys. Huh? Whoa, all right, there we go. Well, that's the alternator right there. Yep. See, I pulled the belt off it. Got this, zoom back out. Got this here tensioner right down there. Slide that off. I didn't take the whole belt off, even though I'm replacing it, just because I kind of want to know how it goes. True, you got this right here, that's on most vehicles, but I'm a visual guy and whatever. So, pull the battery out. One, gain access, and two, I mean, it's the battery, and we're messing with the alternator, so at least disconnect it, you know what I'm saying? Safety third. All right, I'm gonna pull this out eventually. We're gonna leave this here. I remember this being a bitch. I do. So, yeah, we'll worry about that in a minute. Let's get back over it. One thing at a time, stay focused. Now, I saw one video said to disconnect the fan and move it up out of the way on the passenger side fan here. I don't know that I need to do that. I just want to look at it. Maybe I do. I don't know. North Star stuff, gotta love it. So after looking at it for another minute or so, I decided we got all this room for activities if we pull this fan out. So that's what we did. Super easy. Bolt here, bolt here. It was two different bolts. I didn't use the same. Well, you get it. Anyways, and then this little thing like kind of pops in the bottom. So you just take these two bolts out, pull it out, and then there's a connector here, and it's, wire stuff. And then we get back into the good old North Star stuff. You guys check this out. So, if you ever wonder why people hate working on these things, let me show you. See this little guy right here? You gotta take this guy out. Got this super convenient, reachy ratchet here, and no. So, yeah, everything in this car, guys. I'm telling you. So you can kind of get this guy in here a little bit. I was thinking it's a radiator, huh? Yeah. So I guess I gotta go underneath, and yeah, we'll get it from underneath. But sure would be a whole lot easier if we could just. Thanks a lot, Cadillac. All right, so we got this very well lubricated alternator out of this Cadillac, and guys, I'm not gonna lie, I almost lost my mind. These pulleys don't look the same, do they? Yeah, that's how I was like, what in the French toast? And then pulled out this trusty little guy, and see if I can do it one-handed. Yeah, I should be able to. The tool does all the work. No, I can't. Give me a second. Hold, please. Hold. All right, we got it. So, see it there? 61.7 whatever. Same. Pulley looks different. That's like this whole part right here. I'm sure it's still calibrated. Don't worry about that. This right here is obviously way different. That's why we got to measure, guys. What did I say? Measure twice, cut 3 times, whatever. You got it. All right, yo, not for nothing, but if we're cutting alternators, like we're doing something wrong, all right? So just totally disregard that entire analogy there because, yeah. Where were we? North Star stuff. So we got it out, guys. It took about an hour. It wasn't terrible. There were some frustrating parts, like trying to get that wrench in there. And why we have 4 bolts holding one alternator in, we over-engineered that, guys. Cadillac, do better. But we know these North Stars can be a pain in the ass. However, the one on the Jeep was way worse, so I'm not even that mad. For me, I think the key was pulling out the fan right here. You take this little plastic shielding thing off, and then the fan comes out. There's like 3 clips that hold on the plastic, and then there's 2 bolts and like a wire connection to get that fan out. Easy day, gives you a ton more room. It doesn't look like it, but I promise you, every little bit counts. You know what I mean?
That's what she said.
So, and getting the battery out of the way. Also, definitely helped me out, give me a lot more room to work. So that's what I would do. My recommendation. My recommendation for right now is I'm going to head up to the house. And I'm going to hose off, get something to eat, go to work tomorrow. And then I'll be back down here after that to put this thing back in. So, oh, hey, and fun fact, North Stars leak a lot of oil. See you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, if nothing else, right, we keep it real around here. So, full disclosure, it ain't tomorrow. It's actually about 2 days later, but for good reason. And I'm going to show you why. Remember, beginning of the year, we made a couple promises, and we've been doing them. We've been sticking to it. We were working on the Ford. Jay came by yesterday, got the latches installed, started messing with everything, trying to get everything all lined up pretty good. And I think, guys, we're kind of hitting it. That one's obviously still off. And, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? But that guy right there, pretty well lined up. And, guys, latch. So we got that done. We accomplished something. I think it's worth taking a day off for the Caddy. Jay came over, we knocked some stuff out there. So I know Scott's going to be happy to see that. I know I'm happy. Now, over to this guy. We're going to clean up right around where the alternator goes because, if you remember what the alternator came out like, yeah. So we'll do that, and I guess we'll put this guy back in. So I mentioned this thing was leaking oil, and it's pretty obvious judging by how I pulled the alternator out. You can see this valve cover is just seeping something fierce. So we're going to go ahead and fix that leak. That'll do it. So we wasted 2 cans of this, This one's the Pro Series. So it's good. And worth it. Way cleaner. We even got look at this, the side, nice, huh? All right. And as you can imagine, that's a bit of a mess down there. But what are you gonna do? So, I guess we'll dry that off, lay underneath there, and throw that guy into the car. Well, clearly we're under the car. And let me show you what we're working with. So we got that new alternator in there. You see there's 4 bolts altogether. We got those 2 right there that are on the back. They're mount bolts. The one to the left is the one I tried to get from the top and couldn't with the exhaust manifold in the way. And fun fact, that divot in the exhaust manifold just holds that bolt in there. It doesn't actually come all the way out, which is tight. You know, you never got to worry about losing it. So that's that's good. You got the power wire there, mounts on the back. You got the smaller wire comes up. We got a zip tied along it because remember there's a fan that goes right in there. So yeah, you kind of want to protect that, and that's where it was in the factory. Speaking of protect, I should probably go ahead and tape that up. But and then there's another bolt. Let me see if I can show her to you. There she is. Right there. In the front of the alternator. I got that from the bottom as well. The only way you get from the top is, well, the top one. And I'll show you. Alright, well, we're on top here, and I'll show you this last bolt. She is right there. That's like, well, there's no adjustment for this thing, but yeah, that's that long one that kind of, but that's it. 4 bolts, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, 3 of them you get from the bottom. Don't forget the little clips. You know, you get the, where's this guy at? Let me show you. What do you got here? You know, the power clip, you got the big wire down the bottom there, and then you got the one that clips in up here. We got this guy zip tied up. So, from the factory, that was loud, that one that holds the wire is a 13. This replacement one was a 10. And then the other 4 bolts are 15 millimeter. Easy day. Yo, so if you actually saw me struggle like under the car the whole time and up and down, it wasn't an easy day, but it took me about a half an hour to get it in. It took me about an hour to get it out because I had no idea how to take it out. So, you know, I figured that out and it went in a little easier. Next time, probably be like, you know, an hour round turn. Probably not. Hopefully it's not next time. What am I talking about? Anyways, I'm going to swap this belt out. And this one's a little dry rot. I'll show you guys. And that's probably a good idea. I bought a new one. Worth for like $9 or whatever it was. Right here was this very well lubricated alternator. Is our old belt. You guys can see, get the light a little bit better. She started dry rot there, you know. Probably wasn't starting. She's dry rotted there. So we ordered a new one because we kind of figured it was, and we replaced it. And there she is. Had the routing thing. Like I said, I left the other one in there, which was a good idea. I kind of had a little idea where to go. And whenever I got messed up, I went over this guy right here. And this, obviously this is like what goes right here, which was wonderful when you're working on a motor that's in the right way, and it's right here to reference, but I already had it off, so we moved it over there. I was working right here, and worked out flawlessly. All right, guys, so we got the alternator swapped out and the belt swapped out. Everything's hooked back up, and really, if we wanted to just jump in and drive this car, we could put the fan back in, put the battery back in. I think that's all the parts I have laying around. Yeah, a couple of covers underneath or whatever, and we could just drive this thing. But like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of other stuff we want to take care of. We got that coolant reservoir. We identified the leak on the valve cover, and Jay talked me into ordering one, so that's on its way here. And well, we still got to do an oil change. And guys, I got some very, 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 like, if there was ever any question if I was a hack or not, you're going to find out how I had something set up on this car real soon. So you guys got to make sure you come back next week and check that out. In the meantime, that alternator, guys, wasn't bad. So basic hand tools, a little maneuvering, a little finesse, and you can knock it out. So I think people are getting like $800 or something now to do an alternator swap. It cost me $90 for the alternator, and I think $10 or $12 for the belt, $8, whatever it was. Wasn't much. So for around $100, we knocked that out. So you guys can too, right? It's easy to do because I am not. Stick around, you'll find out. All right? In the meantime, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, tell a friend, and as always, thanks for watching.